Before the video starts, I'm doing a giveaway for my channel. This will go into the end of February, where at the end of February, I will be giving away a 12-month or 1-year Xbox Live Gold membership. All you have to do is subscribe and comment on any video I made from this point on until the end of February. Just comment anything and you'll be entered, and I will announce the winner on Twitter at the end of February. Now going into the video, we're going to go into the rise and fall of Jason Blundell. We previously covered a Jimmy Zielinski rise and fall, who was the producer and lead director of Zombies before Jason. But to get to know Jason, we're going to talk about he was a senior executive producer at Treyarch Studios in Santa Monica, California. He has worked on various Treyarch Call of Duty titles. He primarily worked on the campaign mode of Treyarch's games, as well as Zombies on the side. He has worked on the campaign in the games, such as Call of Duty World at War, Call of Duty The First Black Ops, and Call of Duty Black Ops 2. If you're interested to know about Jimmy Zielinski, who was the lead creative director for the Zombies mode before Jason had taken over, the link will be in the description. You can find it on my channel. And now back to Jason. Jason directed Call of Duty Black Ops 3 as the game director for the campaign mode and as the game director for the Zombies mode after Jimmy. Now, to give a little bit of information about Jimmy, he was the animator and former creative director of the Nazi Zombies mode at Treyarch. He was a member of the original team behind Nazi Zombies World at War, and he was responsible for the zombie experience in Black Ops 1 and in Black Ops 2, where he started to have some disgruntled business decisions with Treyarch and Activision, where after his releases in the beginning, while he was doing Transit, Die Rise, and Buried, Jason and his team were off traveling to San Francisco, visiting the Alcatraz prison, preparing for DLC 3 and preparing for one of the most unique Zombies maps the community had ever seen, which was Mob of the Dead. And after the success that Jimmy had experienced and the community had loved the map, Jimmy was eventually replaced by Jason, who took over as a lead role, and eventually in 2014, Jimmy Zielinski had left Treyarch Studios as a whole. Now, a lot of credit has to go to Jason, where a lot of people felt like he saved the Zombies mode itself for Black Ops 2, as there's an identity crisis going on that can be argued with how you look at Die Rise, Transit, and Buried, where Buried was a lot more innovative and a lot more loved by the community compared to the previous two releases, and then you had Jason come in, who released Mob of the Dead when he taking over as his first project, being Mob of the Dead, which is still considered maybe to a lot of people a top 10 Zombies map of all time. And then he follows it up with Origins, which was the finale to BO2, and the community loved that map so much. There were even memes with there being the fog rolling in and the giant robots, but the fans still love this map to this day, and people still argue if this is the best map that was ever created in Zombies. Now, Jason remained the game director for the Zombies mode for Black Ops 3, and he worked on the Black Ops 3 campaign as well, and he had apparently, in the interview with Mr. Raffles, he had planned the entire Black Ops 3 storyline back before Origins even released.
You've had it planned out since the start of the game?
I would say I had it planned out just before Origins. Yeah.
Now, Jason also being left with a big task, which was to follow up Black Ops 2 with Black Ops 3. And on November 5th, 2015, Shadows of Evil dropped with the Giant as a pre-order DLC. But you see, Shadows of Evil was, I want to say it was welcomed in the beginning, but a lot of people thought it was too complicated, but eventually it really grew to be one of Jason's best creations, another one to his perfection collection, no rhyme intended. And the Giant was there for those more casual players that really weren't into the really hardcore, so much to do. It wasn't for everybody, but it's such a great map. Jason single-handedly created the peak of Zombies with the amazing Gobblegum system. Gobblegum system added things like Perkaholic, Raindrops, which created so much replayability for the map, where you weren't just going to build this and that, where you could now just start it off with all the perks. You could get a pack-a-punch gun off the wall. You don't have to worry about, oh, I need a max ammo. You have a Gobblegum max ammo, which is huge. You have In Plain Sight, which is like a zombie blood for all the maps, and other things that Jason and these amazing maps allowed the community to thrive, where you had like things like the Z House and Easter eggs for Charity, E for C. Jason also created a connection with the Zombies production and the zombie community, which with meetups and events like inviting Mr. Raffles to see the Gorod Krovi release trailer. So I'm not going to go over all the Black Ops 3 maps releases as a whole, but I will cover how the community views them. Rise and Jack is argued to be the best map out of the entire Black Ops 3 releases, which was great because DLC 1 is huge for a Zombies community, because if you have a shit launch, like you had like Die Rise, which was Black Ops 2, so that was tough. But when you come out with a DLC 1 banger, that Horizon track was, the community was eating it up. Jason had the community in the palm of his hands. He had them by the balls, really. But then Zetsubo released, and it was a really rough launch. I think it was solved in under a day, if I remember the Easter egg. It was very glitchy, a lot of death barriers, a lot of glitches, but apparently they reworked the entire map, which is what it took to have the map working now, and it's definitely underrated. And then you had Gorod Krovi, which in my opinion is a top 5 map of all time. It's a great map, brought back many classics like the FAMAS, PPSH, has the Reagan Mark III, has the crossbows in it, and then we'll move on to Revelations, which, now people shit on Revelation for being boring. There's only 2 new rooms, but I remember when everybody asked for that. Everybody wanted all the maps to be in one. Everyone was like, that'd be such a cool idea. And when we got it, they were like, ew, gross. Like, sometimes you just can't please anybody. So the ending of Revelation left people on kind of a cliffhanger of, well, the cycle just got redone again, so where are we gonna go next? So it was kind of like a meh, well, let's see what they do with the next Call of Duty. And then some rumors started brewing about like, oh, DLC 5, blah blah blah, we're gonna get some remasters. And well, everyone has to admit, Jason did have that trick up his sleeve, that he did have DLC planned. And Jason arrived at a YouTuber's house who was JC Backfire, who had just hit 100,000 subscribers at the time, and his future co-worker too. It was on May 4th 2017, Jason blew everyone away, arriving at JC Backfire's apartment with the announcement for Zombie Chronicles.
And it's, so hard sometimes to really think about.
Chronicles launched May 16th, 2017, and it was the highest selling Call of Duty DLC of all time. And they say multiplayer outsells zombies. Only when you let it. If it has no competition, multiplayer will always win. Give it the chance, multiplayer can't keep up. So if Zombies was a roller coaster with Jason, we had just gotten to the top and we're about to go on the fall, where we're gonna go into BO4, where in November 16th, after the immense success with Black Ops 3 Zombies, Blundell became the co-studio head of Treyarch Studios alongside Dan Bunting and Mark Gordon. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 after the campaign mode was cancelled, which Jason would have also worked on. This allowed Jason to focus his creative mind on co-creating the zombie storyline for the Ether and the Chaos stories that headline BO4. Although Chaos was his baby, he was going to create this new story with his great mind, as Activision forced him to keep the original crew, forcing the Chaos and Ether maps to mix together in the game, and that did not work. As you'll see, I have a video posted that explains why Chaos did not work in Black Ops 4. And the Ether story was really here for the Great War map that never happened, so allowing Black Ops 4 to really be filler, mostly until they just killed the Ether crew off. But why did Black Ops 4 fail? Well, mostly because Jason had already probably created the biggest mistake of his career as a creative director of Zombies, as he removed Juggernog, he reworked Zombies as we knew it, he made the zombies much faster, he made an entire new system from Black Ops 3, and this one failed. Also, BO4 was way harder and was not finished, with blue screen issues and a broken elixir system that was just inflated to make you think you were earning more when you weren't. It had a talisman system that nobody used. The perks were 30 perks or something. There's probably 10 perks that nobody uses or even knows what they are. If you show them the icon, they cannot identify them. Quick Revive was reworked, as solo players already were given 3 self-revives. Double Tap was removed, and Speed Cola was turned into a sort of a perma perk, where you had to have all 4 perks and you needed to pack a punch the weapon 4 times to achieve the full power of the weapon. Jason worked mainly on the Voyage of Despair launch, and it's considered a bottom tier map, and a lot of people do not enjoy it, as they felt disappointed with how a Titanic map had almost no emotion and had a very bad layout. And just like Jimmy, all it takes is a very bad launch of a game to where it really puts you on the hot seat. Now, BO4's failure was more like an avalanche, where Dead of the Night's launch, which received the least amount of advertising of any Treyarch map I have ever been around for, as the launch was a massive disappointment and Jason's seat was starting to catch fire, as the trailer for Chaos had the least views out of any Zombies trailer to this day. Ironically, almost like Jimmy, Jason did go out on a high note, where Jimmy went out on a buried release, following the release of DLC 2 Ancient Evil, which is a very underrated map, in my opinion. I think a lot of people don't appreciate it as much because it is on the BO4 system. Jason would step down from his creative leading role sometime around April. We don't have an actual date. And then on February 28th, 2020, Treyarch announced that Jason Blundell was leaving the studio. Jason had this to say: "After 13 fantastic, action-packed years, I am moving on from Treyarch. During my time at the studio, I've been privileged to work on a variety of projects, wearing many hats along the way, with my time on the Zombies team proving to be quite special." On June 10th, 2021, Blundell and Dave Anthony announced a new studio, Deviation Games. And this would be a zombie project to our understanding at the time. And he eventually would hire fellow Zombies YouTuber JC Backfire to be their social media manager. And then shockingly, not too long ago, September 8th, 2022, it was announced that Jason Blundell had left Deviation Games entirely. No reason was provided for Blundell's departure. It would also announce that Deviation had partnered with Sony to create a PlayStation exclusive game. So you might be asking, well, why did he leave Deviation Games? Where could he be going next? Well, there are heavy rumors that Jason Blundell is going to have a WWE style return to Treyarch after Vanguard's failure, and maybe revive Zombies once again, as we might have to make another video with the Rise and Fall and then Rise Again of Jason Blundell, if he can come back and bring Zombies back to life after the depths that we are in, as the Zombies community begs to be brought back to another peak in Zombies. But if you did enjoy this and found some new to you, like you didn't know any of this information before, please leave a like, let me know, subscribe. And I would like to thank Who's Esper for editing this video. I'll leave his channel in the description. Go like and sub to him too if you like his editing style. He does edits and he does Zombies content as well. Thank you all.